Now, Miss Kramer, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Rape. What does that mean, ladies and gentlemen of the jury? In this age of X-rated movies and promiscuity, recreational sex and one-night stands. It means what it has always meant. Rape means that sexual intercourse has taken place without the consent of the victim. Without her consent. Which means she said no. Now, according to the law, it doesn't matter if she knew him, if she flirted him, if she kissed him, or even if she invited him home with her. What matters to the law is that when the defendant wanted to have sexual intercourse, the plaintiff said no. She said no. Now, we will prove that the defendant, Morgan Winthrop, didn't take no for an answer. That he ignored her pleas. That he forcibly pinned her down to the couch, bruising both of her arms. That he pulled up her skirt, ripped off her stockings and her underwear, forced her legs apart, and raped her. Now, how do we know that? Well, the victim will name the defendant. This man, Morgan Winthrop, as her attacker. Now, in addition, we will submit medical evidence that show the extent of the victim's injuries and forensic evidence that places Morgan Winthrop at the scene of the crime. Now, what is your job, ladies and gentlemen of the jury? It's to hold on to the facts, because the defense is going to try to drown you with excuses. Well, there really isn't any excuse for rape. It's a crime. And when you hear the facts, you will find Morgan Winthrop guilty.
Mr. Winthrop?
I don't have to prove a thing. My client, Morgan Winthrop, is innocent. Until you say he's guilty. And to do that, to find Morgan guilty, you have to be convinced beyond the famous shadow of a doubt that the evidence adds up. The prosecution promises you facts. Facts? We don't even know if Lorna Devon was actually raped.
Order. I will have orders.
Dana.
Order. Order. I will have order here.
No, you go if you want. I'm staying.
As the defense has seen fit to reveal the victim's identity, I will renew my warning. Should the victim's privacy be compromised, I will not hesitate to exercise all powers allowed under the law. Proceed, Counselor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Was Lorna Devon raped? That's the first question. Before we can assign blame, we have to make sure that a crime has been committed. How do we do that? When the prosecution presents her medical evidence, I want you to ask yourselves one thing. Does it add up? That's all. Does it add up? Lorna Devon will admit she had sex earlier in the day with a man other than the defendant. The medical examiner will tell you that they found that man's semen, but not a trace of any semen from the man she claims raped her.
Your Honor. Save it for the summation, Counselor.
Does it add up? There are no witnesses. I wish there were. Instead, the prosecution promises you Lorna Devon's story. Well, I promise you Morgan Winthrop's story. He will tell you how he met a pretty woman at a bar, how they had several drinks together, how they laughed and joked, how she invited him back to her apartment with his friend. They ate pizza, they danced, and then Morgan went home. He went home. Does it add up? The prosecutor was absolutely right. Rape has nothing to do with lust or seduction. It's an act of rage. A violent, violent act. One person brutally overpowering another. Morgan Winthrop is a doctor. He's an intern at Bay City General. You will hear from his colleagues and his patients about how gentle he is, about how he saves lives. Does it add up? You will undoubtedly feel, as I feel, that something happened to Lorna Devon. But what it was still isn't clear. It may never be clear. You will hear how she drank to the point of intoxication, how she passed out. What you must ask yourselves is this: is Lorna Devon a reliable witness? If indeed someone overpowered her, raped her, was she sober enough to identify her assailant, or is she just guessing? Is it possible, just possible, that she's mistaken? The law says that if you have a reasonable doubt, you must find Morgan Winthrop innocent.